"It does seem rather worrying," she said. "But what has it all to do with Wakeley Court?"
"I was just coming to that. The fact is that Princess Irina has started as a pupil there this year."
"Oh? She's been sent there for safety, I assume."
"I gather they had been planning to send her to school anyway, but when this all came out it gave them an added motive to get her out of the country, since there is some hint that the Crovidanians want to assassinate her too. She was brought up in England until she was about 10 years old, I believe, and her father is keen for her to continue her English education."
"Barbara said something about a foreign princess at Wakeley Court," said Angela, remembering. "But can the school protect this girl from her enemies? It hardly seems the sort of place that would be equipped for that kind of thing."
"Nobody in Morania knows she is here. The plan was carried out in secret."
"But then why is her name known at the school?"
Henry sighed. "These things soon get out. As I said, they had been expecting her at Wakeley Court before this story of the assassination attempt came out, so the news was already known to many when she arrived, even though they tried not to make too much of it. She is enrolled at the school under the name Irina Ivanovetti, and although I imagine not everybody is aware of who she is, many certainly are."
"That is rather unfortunate."
"It is not as bad as it seems. As you know, the school is in a fairly remote part of Norfolk, close to the north coast, and anybody unfamiliar arriving in the area would be spotted immediately. Besides, as soon as we knew of the danger, I sent a man to the school to keep an eye on things. It was he who informed me that you had been visiting the place."
"Mr. Hesketh?" said Angela in sudden understanding.
"Yes, that's the chap. Reggie Hesketh. You spotted him, did you?"
"No, not at all. I had no idea until now."
"Good. We don't want every one knowing who he is. He is posing as a Latin master. As a matter of fact, he is very well qualified to teach several languages, and he is one of our most capable men."
"It sounds like you have everything in hand," said Angela. "But what do you want with me?"
Henry looked uncomfortable. "I don't like it, Angela. Looking at it objectively, the whole thing might be a mare's nest, since we've received no intelligence ourselves of anything bubbling under the surface in that part of the world. And to tell the truth, the Moranians do tend to be a bit oversensitive about what they perceive as threats to their safety, so we generally don't pay too much attention. Still, I've been in this job a long time and learnt to trust my instincts, and I've a feeling in my bones that something's not right, although I couldn't tell you what. I feel as though I haven't been told the whole story, that something is missing."
"But what am I to do? You already have a man in place."
"True, but there is a limit to what he can do. If something is going on, then we need to know what is happening at the school. Not just among the teachers, you understand, but also among the pupils. And, of course, Hesketh is not allowed to get too pally with the girls. The school is extremely strict about that sort of thing, and Miss Bell, the head mistress, watches the male teachers like a hawk. They're not even allowed in the main building after 7 o'clock. If Hesketh were a woman it would be a different matter, but we don't have any women in the department who are suitably qualified. It was just pure good luck that the school happened to be looking for a Latin master, and that Hesketh is so hot on languages. Otherwise we'd have had to send someone to watch from the outside, which wouldn't have been the same thing at all."
"No," agreed Angela.
"I think something is going on there," continued Henry, "and I want to know what it is. I don't suppose you noticed anything odd yourself when you were there?"
"Such as what? Do you mean mysterious foreigners brandishing carved daggers in a menacing fashion, that sort of thing?"
"It does sound rather far-fetched when you put it like that."
"I'm sorry. Facetious of me. No, I'm afraid I didn't notice anything. I was there on a matter connected with Barbara, and so that was uppermost in my mind at the time. I wasn't really paying much attention to anything else. However, I have been invited by Miss Bell to return to Wakeley Court next week, and I can keep an eye out then if you like, although I don't suppose I will notice anything that Mr. Hesketh has missed."
"Would you?" said Henry. "That would be splendid. As you say, you probably won't find anything out, but you may get an opportunity to speak to the girls, and see if any of them have noticed anything. You'll have to be careful about it, though. We need to keep the thing absolutely secret."
Angela promised to do her best, and thus the matter was agreed.